And Shell, live on the show floor, GIE Expo, talking with Mike Barnett of Briggs & Stratton's Engine Service Division about their new engine treatment product. Tell me, Mike, how it all came about, or the thinking behind it, that kind of thing.
Sure. Our customers, as you know, over the years, problems with fuel, and that is stability, then ethanol hit us. What we needed to do is we needed to take a solution to market that is going to cover and take care of the customers, cover those issues. We took the best of the best of the additives out there, triple antioxidants, double deactivators, everything out there that is the best, that's going to protect these engines, and formulated it into one product. And testing fresh fuel, 3 years stabilization, and fights the harmful effects of ethanol.
So it's a double treatment. It's for ethanol and fuel stabilization.
Absolutely,
correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And is it on the market, or what's availability?
December.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It will be hitting the shelves in December. We're going to advertise it coming out of the show. This was actually the kickoff. We're handing out little sample packs, and from there, it's going to be. We're excited, and so are our customers.
Is that something that you had some demand from your dealer base, as far as a product like that?
Our dealer base has had a lot of different challenges with different types of fuel products coming at them, of claims and different things. We needed to substantiate everything out there. Mm-hmm. And one thing I could say is the claims that we have are true, are real.
Yeah.
And the dealers have no worries in the world of believing that it's going to do exactly what it says it's going to do. It's been independently tested by labs, and it's going to enhance the dealer's business and increase customer satisfaction.
All right.
Just a second.
You scanned it right off the engine.
It reads that code. It copies that URL into the smartphone.
Okay.
And it's telling me I have a 32 horse air-cooled vertical shaft Vanguard big block. More than that, it's telling me my model, type, and trim right on that, which is something that admittedly we make that difficult.
Right.
It's for manufacturers, but it can be difficult for users to find that. So it's going to be one of the first questions a dealer asks a user.
Right.
What's your model, type, and trim? I got it right here. It's a 543773121 G1. All right. Second button down here, dealer locator. Where am I? I type in my...
And during the research, we started looking at different kinds of motors, and printed circuit boards. We're using a lot of motors, not as the stator as we're using them, but as mounting mechanisms for wire wound coils.
Yeah.
And I came up with an idea that we could integrate the wire windings into the printed circuit board.
Huh.
So basically, that's what you have here. You have a printed circuit board, as you can see, surrounded by permanent magnets. And in fact, hey Bill, can I borrow that real quick?
Oh, here you go.
Thank you, sir. This one comes apart. Basically, very simple. You have a permanent magnet rotors surrounding a printed circuit board stator, and it's really this simple to assemble. It goes into the housing, clamp her together, ready to go.
So what is the primary benefit with the new style motor? You get rid of the wire brush. That
Correct.
That's the main thing.
There's a lot of inconsistency in electric motors, typical electric motors, with the wire windings. You run into insulation problems. You have brushes that wear constantly. This is a brushless motor, so the only wearing part is the bearing. The only wearing part in this entire machine is the bearing, and it's electronically controlled, so that we can control all the temperatures, the current, voltage. So everything that's going to this motor is controlled electronically with off-the-shelf electronic components. So it's.
Have you, when you say you're going to market, how are you going? Do you have distributors lined up, or dealers, or how do you stand with that?
This is kind of our coming out party. I mean, the show was to start the dealer relationship.
Yeah. Dan Shell live on the show floor at GIE Expo with Brian O'Neill of B3C Fuel Solutions. Come out with a new product, a dealer fuel test kit. And just want to ask you, Brian, tell me about the product and when it's going to be available, that kind of thing.
Okay, well, the product actually is available immediately. We're going to start shipping November 1 to our dealers and our distributors. But what it is, it's a comprehensive fuel test kit to test gas quality, not just gas, but also diesel. And we have 7 different tests that can actually test everything from how old the fuel actually is, how well aged it is, immediately right in front of their customers. They can actually show them immediately how well it is. We also have a test for 2-cycle that can also detect how much 2-cycle oil is actually present. You know, back in the day, it was only you put it on a piece of paper and you hoped it maybe left a stain and you knew you had oil.
Right.
But now you can actually really measure how much oil is actually there. Is it 100 to 1? Is it 50 to 1? Is it too much oil? You can do that with a test.
Is this a product that the dealers have been asking for, that you've gotten some demand for there?
Yes, we've had a lot of people ask us about that, but through our research and discovery that we've been doing with our own fuel additives, we really developed tests that have never been in the marketplace, but it makes sense. Say, for example, you have a pressure washer. You don't use it that often. The gas goes to become marginal, where it's to the point where it can run, but it doesn't start well. It doesn't really run, but it could actually run on it. That marginal fuel can do more damage than bad gas, because bad gas, it won't even start and run. It won't damage it. You still got to clean it out, but the marginal can go and gum up all the internal engine components. You can test this before you start it. Prevent that problem from happening. And also advise your customers that, hey, at home, you got to take care of your gas at home too, because I could fix your equipment, but after that, when you go home, you got to take care of that too.
Dan Shell again on the floor here at GIE Expo. I'm talking with Roy Willis, the President and CEO of the Propane Education and Research Council. And how's it been going here, Roy, as far as what kind of experience have you had at the show? What kind of feedback have you gotten from the visitors and dealers?
It's been very positive. I get a sense that the awareness about the propane offering and the benefits of using propane is starting to spread, which is really important. Whenever you introduce a new alternative fuel in any market, you've got an education hurdle that you have to deal with. And at least we're at the stage now where we've got enough information out there that people are starting to come to us with questions, which tell me that that early educational effort is starting to take root. And so it's been very, very positive. People want to know not only what's available, but how they need to work with propane retailers in order to get a total fuel solution, so they have both the equipment and the refueling proposition all squared away.
And I know you've been here, the PERC has been here maybe 5, 6, 7 years, I'm not sure.
We're almost a half dozen years now.
Right, so you feel like that's paying off, those efforts you've made here?
Oh, absolutely. No, it was, without this show, I don't think we wouldn't be where we are today, which is, I get a sense that there's momentum growing, coming to this show. I mean, some of the leaders in the industry, they're here. They want to know what's new, and they want to know how they can incorporate it into their business. And this is a perfect venue for us to tell that propane story and to respond to their questions, their concerns, or any ideas they may have about how we can improve what we're doing to get propane more widely used in this market. And from the dealers, what we're hearing about is they're interested, and now they're looking for an opportunity to really test drive it, if you will. And so one of the things that PERC is going to be introducing, based on the feedback that we're getting from the dealers, is a demonstration program which we'll launch in 2012. We'll try to place as many as 300 propane mowers in dealer showrooms across the country for a year-long program to demonstrate it, to hold field days, to get commercial mowing contractors in to test drive the equipment, so that they can try it out in a real-world environment. And at the end of the year, as an incentive to the dealer, when they sell the equipment, we'll give them an additional cash incentive up to $2,000 per mower to participate in this year-long demonstration program. And I think that program has, I think, a great potential to help us move from this early adopter phase, so we're starting to build market share, and that's where we want to go. But the key is As the old Baptist preacher says, the most important thing on Sundays is getting butts in the seats.
That's right, that's right.
Getting this new equipment into the marketplace. We really need people to get behind the steering and take it for a run.
Dan Shell reporting here live from the show floor here at GIE Expo. We're looking at some brand new products. I'm with Alan LaFerno, Oregon Power Now Tools, and this is Oregon's new Power Now 40-volt max chainsaw. And tell us about the saw, Alan. What makes it a great product?
Yeah, we're real excited about the saw. We just launched this about 8 weeks ago, and what you're looking at is a 40-volt lithium-ion, 40-volt maximum voltage lithium-ion battery-powered chainsaw. And really, there's a couple things I want to hit relatively quickly here for you. But that 40-volt lithium-ion, what that does a couple things for you, and what mainly we like to say is it's always ready. So what we mean by that is lithium-ion holds its charge very long. So for example, if you let this battery sit for 6 months, it's going to maintain about 90-95% of its charge. So it's always ready. So you don't have to worry about fuel going bad, that sort of anything like that. And then other than that, really what we want people to understand is the instant start capabilities of this saw. So we're targeting pro landscapers, ruralist people with property, and what we're hearing back from them they really appreciate is the fact no pull cords, starts right away, no fooling, oil, fuel mixing, any of that. It's ready to go. Other than that, there's some obvious benefits of cordless as well. The noise, and one of the things we like to talk about with this saw is we say it's quiet, and we say silent between cuts.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you got a chainsaw sitting on the ground, hopping around between cuts. And it's funny, we talk to users, do a lot of work with users, and what's really come back is not only do they like that quietness, but they're really picking up for communication on the job site. If you're up in the tree, your guys down below, you're able to communicate a lot better from that standpoint. And one other thing I'd like to mention on this saw, because it's as important as the fact that the saw is cordless, is we've now integrated our Power Sharp chain sharpening system on here. So if you can pan in here, you simply pull this lever while running the saw, and you can sharpen your chain in 5 to 10 seconds. Okay? So no more dull chains, or you might get a dull chain, but you're not going to be finished on the job because you can sharpen it right away.
It's great, man. On the show floor at GIE Expo, I'm with Chris Kaiser, President and CEO of the Outdoor Power Equipment Institute. And we're going to look at the ethanol situation. Now, I understand OPEI has joined a lawsuit for the EPA's misfueling labeling effort. And I was just wondering, what are the specific legal issues that y'all are challenging EPA on?
Well, Dan, it's a new issue. It's a new effort, and it's not necessarily been tested in the courts. EPA has never before issued what's called a partial waiver, where they're saying gas is okay for just some stuff. And so that's kind of new for us. It's also a new interpretation for the courts of an existing statute, the Clean Air Act. And so we're challenging the underlying decision that said it's okay for just some stuff. We don't think the way the wording of the act, which says it can't contribute to the failure of any engine. So that's the original challenge. The second part of that is what you just mentioned, the misfueling. Is EPA said you can't use it non-road. So none of our product, no marine product, no snowmobiles. But the challenge is the way they're going to prevent misfueling is just a new little label. We don't think it's enough. And so we're challenging what's called the misfueling part of that decision. So there's two separate court cases. One will get heard first and one's not. But basically we're just saying that the effort they've done, that the label will not prevent misfueling. You'll get misfueling as a result. They're going to have damaged product and potentially injured folks, and whether that's economic injury by losing their product, but sometimes product failure might actually mean a safety problem. So that's what we're doing.
Give me a little bit, and you mentioned it in the press conference, a little bit on the time frame that the fuel might actually be in the market before the court decision. How does that? How might that work?
One of the big challenges on this kind of lawsuit, we couldn't get a stay on their decision to let this fuel in while it worked its way through the courts. A court action today is at least a year, and that's even expedited. And so the challenge for us is we know that some folks are trying to register and certify an E15 fuel now. That decision could come literally any month, any day. We think it'll be before the end of the year. But the court decisions, we've just had our brief submitted. We've gotten what's called a reply brief. The courts are looking at that. And so they'll set a date for oral arguments later this year, could be early next year. That'll take 6 months or so to work its way through, and probably not a decision until late summer. So if you see E15 in the marketplace in a few months, the problems are on us before the court acts. And that's just the way it's going to play out.
Yeah, yeah.